Medieval India, page number 179, chapter number 14, Extinction of Ahmednagar and Acceptance of Mughal Suzerainty by Bijapur and Golconda. Shah Jahan ascended the throne in 1628, having commanded two expeditions to the Deccan as a prince, and spent a considerable period in the Deccan during his rebellion against his father. Shah Jahan had a great deal of experience and personal knowledge of the Deccan and its politics. Shah Jahan's first concern as a ruler was to recover the territories in the Deccan which had been lost to the Nizam Shahi ruler. For the purpose, he deputed an old and experienced noble, Khan-e-Jahan Lodi. However, Khan-e-Jahan Lodi failed to enterprise and was recalled to the court. Shortly afterwards, he rebelled and joined Nizam Shah, who deputed him to expel the Mughals from the remaining portions of Berar and Balaghat. Giving asylum to a leading Mughal noble in this manner was a challenge which Shah Jahan could not ignore. It was clear that even after Malik Ambar's death, his policy of refusing to recognize the Mughal position in Berar and Balaghat was being continued by the Nizam Shahi ruler Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan therefore came to the conclusion that there could be no peace for the Mughals in the Deccan as long as Ahmednagar continued to be an independent state. This was a major departure from the policy which had been followed by Akbar and Jahangir. However, Shah Jahan was not keen to extend Mughal territories in the Deccan beyond what was absolutely necessary. He therefore wrote to the Bijapur ruler offering to cede to him roughly one third of the Ahmednagar state if he would cooperate with the Mughals in the projected campaign against Ahmednagar. This was a shrewd move on the part of Shah Jahan to isolate Ahmednagar diplomatically and militarily. He also sent feelers to the various Maratha Sardars to join Mughal service. At first, Shah Jahan was successful in his overtures. Malik Ambur had defeated and killed some prominent Bijapuri nobles during his campaigns. The Adil Shah also was a smarting and at the humiliation of the burning of Nauraspur and the annexation of Sholapur by Malik Ambar. He therefore accepted Shah Jahan's proposal and posted an army at the Nizam Shahi border to cooperate with Mughals. Around this time, Jadav Rao, a prominent Maratha noble who had defected to the side of the Mughals during the reign of Jahangir but had gone back to the service of the Nizam Shah, was treacherously murdered on the charge of conspiring with the Mughals. As a result, Shahaji Bhosle, who was his son-in-law and the father of Shivaji, defected to the Mughal side along with his relations. Shah Jahan accorded him a mansab of 5,000 and gave him jagirs in the Poona region. A number of prominent Maratha Sardars also joined Shah Jahan. In 1629, Shah Jahan deputed large armies against Ahmednagar, one of them to operate in the west in the Balaghat region and the other in the east in the Telangana region. The emperor himself moved to Burhanpur to coordinate their movements. Under relentless pressure, large parts of Ahmednagar state were brought under Mughal occupation. Parenda, one of the last outposts of the kingdom, was besieged. The Nizam Shah now sent a piteous appeal to Adil Shah, stating that most of the kingdom was under Mughal occupation, and if Parenda fell, it would mean the end of Nizam Shahi dynasty. After which he warned would come the turn of Bijapur. A strong group at the Bijapur court had been uneasy at the steady Mughal advance in Ahmednagar. In fact, the Bijapuri forces at the border had merely watched the situation, taking no active part in Mughal operations. The Mughals, on their part, had refused to hand over to Adil Shah the areas allotted to him under the agreement. As a result, the Adil Shah made a somersault and decided to help the Nizam Shah, who agreed to surrender Sholapur to him. This turn in the political situation compelled the Mughals to raise the siege of Parenda, and to retreat. However, the internal situation in Ahmednagar now turned in favor of the Mughals. Fath Khan, the son of Malik Ambar, had recently been appointed Peshwa by the Nizam Shah in the hope that he would be able to induce Shah Jahan to make peace. Instead, Fath Khan opened secret negotiations with Shah Jahan and, at his instant, murdered the Nizam Shah and put puppet on the throne. He also read the Kutba and struck the Sikka in the name of the Mughal emperor. As a reward, Fath Khan was taken in Mughal service, and the Jagir around the Pune previously allotted to Shahji was transferred to him. As a result, Shahji defected from the Mughal side. These events took place in 1632. After the surrender of Fath Khan, Shah Jahan appointed Mahabat Khan as Mughal viceroy of the Deccan and himself returned to Agra. Mahabat Khan, faced with the combined opposition of Bijapur and the local Nizam Shahi nobles, including Shahji, found himself in a very difficult situation. Parenda surrendered to Bijapur, which made a strong bid for the fort of Daulatabad as well, by offering a large sum of money to Fath Khan and surrendering the fort. Elsewhere also, the Mughals found it difficult to hold on to their positions. It will thus be seen that the Mughals and Bijapur were in reality engaged in a contest for dividing the prostrate body of Ahmednagar between themselves. The Adil Shah sent a large army under Randaula Khan and Muradi Pandit for the surrender of Daulatabad and for provisioning its garrison. Shahji also was enrolled in Bijapur service to harass the Mughals and cut off their supplies. But the combined operations of Bijapuri forces and Shahji were of no avail. Mahabat Khan closely invested Daulatabad and forced the garrison to surrender in 1633. The Nizam Shah was sent to prison in Gwalior. This marked the end of the Nizam Shahi dynasty. However, even did not solve the problems facing the Mughals. Following the example of Malik Ambar, Shahji found a Nizam Shahi prince and raised him up as a ruler. The Adil Shah sent a force 7 to 8,000 horsemen to aid Shahji and induced many of the Nizam Shahi nobles to surrender their forts to Shahji. Many disbanded Nizam Shahi soldiers joined Shahji, whose force swelled to 20,000 horses. With these, he harassed the Mughals and took control of the large portions of Ahmednagar state. Shah Jahan now decided to give personal attention to the problems of Deccan. He realized the crux of the situation was the attitude of Bijapur. He therefore deputed a large army to invade Bijapur and also sent feelers to Adil Shah, offering to review the earlier accord by dividing the territory of Ahmednagar between Bijapur and the Mughals. The policy of the stick and the carrot and the advance of Shah Jahan to the Deccan brought about another change in Bijapur politics. The leaders of the anti-Mughal group, including Muradi Pandit, were displaced and killed, and a new treaty of Ahadnama was entered into with Shah Jahan. According to this treaty, Adil Shah agreed to recognize Mughal suzerainty, to pay an indemnity of 20 lakh of rupees and not to interfere in the affairs of Golconda, which was brought under Mughal protection. Any quarrel between Bijapur and Golconda was in future to be referred to the Mughal emperor for his arbitration. The Adil Shah agreed to cooperate with the Mughals in reducing Shahji to submission, and if he agreed to join Bijapuri service, depute him in the south, away from the Mughal frontier. In return for these, territory worth about 20 lakh huns, about 80 lakh rupees, annually belonging to Ahmednagar was ceded to Bijapur. Shah Jahan also sent Adil Shah to a solemn farman, impressed with the mark of emperor's palm, that the terms of this treaty would never be violated. Shah Jahan completed the settlement of the Deccan by entering into a treaty with Golconda as well. The ruler agreed to include the name of Shah Jahan in the khutbah and to exclude the name of the Iranian emperor from it. The Qutub Shah was to be loyal to the emperor. The annual tribute of 4 lakh huns, which Golconda was previously paying to Bijapur, was remitted. Instead, it was required to pay 2 lakh huns annually to the Mughal emperor in return for his protection. The treaties of 1636 with Bijapur and Golconda were statesmanlike. In effect, they enabled Shah Jahan to realize the ultimate objectives of Akbar. The suzerainty of the Mughal emperor was now accepted over the length and breadth of the country. Peace with the Mughals enabled the Deccani states to expand their territories towards the south. In the decade following the treaties of 1636, Bijapur and Golconda overran the rich and fertile Karnataka area from the river Krishna to Tanjore and beyond. This area was ruled over by a number of petty principalities, many of them, such as the Nayaks of Tanjore, Jinji, and Madurai, owning to the nominal allegiance to the Rayal, the former ruler of Vijayanagar. A series of campaigns were conducted by Bijapur and Golconda against these states. With the help of Shah Jahan, they agreed to divide the territories and the spoils gained by their armies in the proportion of 2/3 to Bijapur and 1/3 to Golconda. Despite frequent quarrels between the two, the task of the conquest went ahead. Thus, in a short span of time, the territories of these two states were more than doubled, and they reached the climax of their power and prosperity. If the rulers had been able to consolidate their hold over the areas they conquered, the Deccan would have seen a long era of peace. Unfortunately, rapid expansion weakened whatever internal cohesion these states had. Ambitious nobles such as Shahji and his son Shivaji in Bijapur and Mir Jumla, the leading noble in Golconda, started craving out spheres of influence for themselves. The Mughals too found that the balance of power in the Deccan had been upset and demanded a price for their benevolent neutrality during the expansionist phase of these states. These developments came to a head in 1656. Following the death of Muhammad Adil Shah and the arrival of Aurangzeb as the Mughal viceroy of Deccan, these developments would be dealt with in subsequent chapter. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. In the next part, we'll start with the last topic of this chapter, that is cultural contribution of the Deccan states. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. All the best for exams. And do share and subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Thank you.